Hello and welcome to this Millennial Review, where today we're taking a look at this Tilswall W402 Rotary Cordless tool. Now this cordless rotary tool is a 8-volt setup and it comes from Tilswall with this very nice looking tool, a bunch of additional cutters. So we've got some cutting discs right here. You also have your USB to USB-C charger, always nice to see. And really nice is all in that same package. It's coming with quite the array of cutting tools, polishing tools, sanding discs, all sorts of great things. Now, Tilswall offered to send this out to me. I've used a few of their other products and have really enjoyed them. And so I'm looking forward to testing this out on a project that I have going right now that was bogging down my 12-volt Milwaukee rotary tool. Now, obviously, I expect that the Milwaukee should have some more power and should be able to last a bit longer than what you'd get from the Tilswall, especially since that's a 12-volt and this is an 8-volt setup. But you've got to say, the much smaller size is going to be nice. It's also quite a bit less weight. So I'm curious to see how it stacks up, and I'll show you some side-by-side video of cutting with that Milwaukee and then cutting with this Tilswall. Now, before we get into the project, just want to show you a few more things. Of course, we've got all of our information on the back. It does have this charging port right on the bottom. So you've got your charging port there that's USB-C. You can use any USB-C charger, and to get this powered on, you go ahead and press the power button. Starts in the low setting. And then to turn off, you just press and hold. Now, I will mention that when you plug this in, you'll see plugs in, the lights will start to light up. In this case, you're seeing it going from a low charge, that's how I got it, to starting to charge up. And that's all you really need to know about how to operate the device. When we look into the parts, what I'm going to be using today is going to be Tilswall's cutting disc. So this is going to be a cutting disc to be able to cut through the thick plastic housing. And if we look through, we've got quite a few other options. So let's just check out a few of the things that comes with it. Now, you are going to need this lock ring tool. That's so that we're going to be able to loosen and tighten the collar. Looks like we have a metal saw blade. Very nice to have. This will be the drum for the sanding disc. So those, you loosen this up, the sanding disc is able to slide on, tighten it up, and off you go. Looks like we've got a few drill bits, also some rasps as we look at that. And what other neat things? I'm actually really surprised at how much they send with you. Now, here you go, ball end rasp. These are actually really nice for cleaning stuff out. Great to have that. This is going to be our piece that's required to hold the sanding disc. It's a nice connection, works fine. Of course, you know, another brand like this Dremel disc where you've got slide off and then it just slides right on. Now that is really sweet, where you can just pull down, slide right off, slide the new one back on, and it locks into place. That's really nice. But this whole setup we have in front of us, including the Tilswall cordless rotary tool, are all about what it costs to just buy those bits from Dremel. This unit retails for about $50, although you can often find it for less, and I'll have a link down in the description below from the Amazon page for Tilswall, where you should be able to get it for quite a bit less depending on the time frame. But looking here, looks like we've got some polishing compound. Makes sense considering it comes with some of these polishing pads. Really pretty cool setup. Now, do take a look at that product description so you can see everything that this should come with, but I'm going to put it all back together and let's get to going. All right, so the first thing to getting this to be used is we're going to unscrew our tool And this is going to give us 2 washers. You can see 1 washer and then 2. You see those 2 there. Hard to keep this in focus. Put our cutting disc on, slide that through, slide on the other washer, and then tighten this puppy up. Now I like to hand thread these together. I've used this style a whole bunch of times in the past. Hand thread it together like that, and then we can use the end of and then you can use the included tool, tighten it up nice and snug, and we are ready to go. To put it into the Tilswall rotary tool, you have this button that you're going to kind of put light pressure on. So watch as this changes when I start to spin. So you see how that was able to press in? That's because that locks into place the collar at the top, and that collar is onto the axle that's actually driving. Collar is connected to the axle that is driving from the motor. So that's what we want to hold in place. And then you just tighten up the collar while holding on to that silver button to get it nice and snug. And now we are ready to go. So before we get going, I do want to give just a bit of a comparison of overall sound. So if I turn on the Milwaukee system, there's 6 levels, but it gets really loud. Let's test out this Tilswall. I'm not sure, but hopefully it'll be quieter. Let's try out. Definitely quite a bit quieter. It does have a max speed of a claimed 25,000 RPM and a minimum speed of 5,000 RPM. So we're going to put that to the test with cutting through some automotive headlights, and we'll see just how strong or effective that this is going to be. Now, trying to do this before on the other one with the Milwaukee, you had to be careful about just how much pressure you put on as it would start to slow down through some of these corners. But that's exactly what we're going to do, is we're going to try to create a nice clean cut all the way around. If we take a quick look at what I was able to do on the other one, that's what we've done. So nice cut all the way through, up close to everything, but not hitting any of the internals because I'm replacing the lenses on these lights. And the best way to get them apart is to cut the front of the lens off, since it's not going to be used again, then heat it up and you can pry everything out. But this isn't a tutorial on how that works. It's a tutorial on how well this Tilswall is going to work. So going to press that on. Maybe try the medium speed here for a moment. So it's definitely still getting slowed down. Let me turn it up. Oh, well, that was enough to turn it all the way off. So let's turn this puppy back on. Now that's putting up a pretty fair fight. I bet you're probably thinking, oh, cutting through plastic isn't that hard. These headlight lenses are thick, and especially on the corners. Just to put that into perspective, I'm going to go ahead and use my Milwaukee here, put this up to level 4, just like we had on the other one. And it gets through with a little bit more assertiveness, but still quite a bit of work. Now, to continue to put this Tilswall rotary tool to the test, I now have these 2 radios in front of me that I'm trying to make this frame fit. Now, it's kind of funny because while they look almost identical, you can see here, this one slides pretty much into place just like so. But on the other one, it is just different enough that it just, won't play nicely. I can't quite get it to start. The device opening is just a little bit bigger. Just the whole thing is a little off. So I'm going to use the tool to chop some of these things off on the back and then see what we can do to gradually enlarge the hole to where this will actually fit on like it should. And this is where we can really utilize the slower speed. So I'll put this down on the speed 1 because I want to do some nice detail work, make sure I don't screw it up. Might need a little more speed than that. No. There we go. That one on. Now we're going to switch over to one of these barrel sanders, slide that into place because this is going to allow us to take off a little bit of material on the sides. So you tighten this up, and while doing so, it's going to compress the rubber on the inside and get a grip on the sanding disc. Pull the other thing off. That side. Add this guy on. This is where the speed control is really going to help us out, because if we take a look one more time, so if the bottom is lined up, looks like our top corners really just aren't going to be a problem. But where the problem's going to be, basically the bottom corners we need to massage a little more space into. And then while we're at it, get a little more space along this edge because the radius is not the same. So Nate, go ahead and get to work here. And that would be a look at the Tilswall Rotary tool. Now, personally, I've found that I've really liked this for the smaller detail work. It doesn't have quite as much horsepower as, say, that 12-volt Milwaukee that I have, but that really shouldn't be counted against it because this is so much smaller and really just a fraction of the price. I do like all the different attachments and adapters that come with it. These are of decent quality, although you may find yourself, if you're doing a lot of work, wanting to go to one of those nicer bit sets. But otherwise, this little Tilswall, I am really happy with it. It operates well, it's nice and simple with that USB charge on the top, and there's really not much more I could expect out of a little tool for about $50. So go ahead and let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. While you're at it, be sure to subscribe and browse the channel to see more videos like this, checking out household tools that hopefully make your life easier.